welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do a sketch for you on camera. I thought that would be a fun video to do because I am working on a pretty small canvas. It's square, so I couldn't get it in frame completely. So you're just gonna see this part, and if I move down, I will move you down with me. So I have like a sketch that I made, and I really like it. And it's a lady, and her face is covered in flowers. And I already know that I'm going for kind of a yellow-orange color scheme, and the flowers will be white, so there will be like a lot of blue to contrast the orange, and a lot of purple to contrast the yellow. So I have that sketch right next to me, and there's like multiple different ways how you could like transfer a sketch. And it's very common in like modern painting to use a projector. And I like to use a projector for my large scale works because it saves me a lot of time. I know I could also draw it without, but then it would take me like 4 hours to do a drawing that with a projector I could do in like 1 hour. And sometimes I just really want to just practice the painting, so that's why I use a projector sometimes. But now I'm just gonna do a sketch from the sketch I already made. And I'm gonna show you what I'm using. I'm just using a regular pencil, and normally I would shave off, you know, the wood and have a really large piece of lead to work with, because a canvas is kind of rough, you know. But this one is new, and I really enjoy new pencils because they are very long. It's a Staedtler, just a regular one. And what I'm also using is a kneadable eraser. I use this one because it's not colored. Sometimes when you have a colored kneadable eraser, after a while the color comes off onto your paper or onto your canvas or whatever you're working with. So to prevent that, I'm just using a gray one. And I don't really feel like making such a large point right now because I'm working so small. Usually if I work on a big canvas, the tip of my pencil deteriorates really fast because I'm doing like a lot, you know? So, but not today. I'm working on a small canvas. So I just have a regular sharpener that I'm gonna use in between. And that's all I'm using, except for my canvas, of course. And this is a thick one. I like thick canvases. I don't know if I've ever explained that before, but I just like how they feel. Like they feel luxury. They're always like built very well, so you rarely get warping in your paintings. And that's a great quality to have if you want to sell your work. So I think I'm just gonna get started. Also, I'm behind the camera. The camera is like in front of my face and in front of my canvas, so it's kind of hard for me to see. So I will probably go back and forth a bit to like measure if I'm getting the proportions correct. So if you hear me change, like my voice gets farther away, I'm sorry about that. I really want to get a microphone. You know, that's a dream. I have to move over a bit. Yeah, it's a dream of mine to get like a Blue Yeti or something, so I can experiment more with like audio. We actually have been doing some audio-visual exercises in school, and I got to use like a film camera for the first time and like put my own settings, like adjust my own settings, you know, like shutter speed, ISO, all those technical things, and that was so much fun. I really want a film camera of my own. Sorry, I'm out of frame. Yeah. But I decided to invest in a good computer first, so I actually had my friend help me build it for me this weekend. So this will be my first video that I will have edited with my new computer, which I'm so excited about. Because my old computer was 10 years old, and it would like give me 1 frame per eternity when I was editing. So that wasn't really fun. Oh, I forgot to talk about the lines I have here. So I buy the pre-gessoed canvases because I don't like spending my time putting my own gesso on. I just want to get started. But I do like to use something to prime my canvases, and that is modeling based or molding based. And I use the one by Golden that has like marble in it, so it gets really hard and it's really nice to sketch on top of with a pencil, and that's why I'm using it now. And yeah, that's it basically. So the dots I'm putting down are like me measuring where things are gonna go. So it will all make sense in a bit when I start connecting the dots. Sometimes I see I measured something wrong, and then I can just easily like remove the dots, because dots are easier to remove than entire lines. Okay, so I'm kind of measuring stuff. Yeah, so it's probably gonna be a bit of a shorter video, because I usually sketch pretty fast, I think. Depends on if I'm gonna put all the flower petals in there today. Usually I don't for paintings, because I really enjoy freedom in my brush strokes when I'm painting, because a flower can be made up by a couple of brush strokes. So when you're sketching, it's totally different from when you're painting, because usually when you sketch, you make the lines, and when you paint, you make what are they called? What are they called? Like the planes, I guess? Would you call it the planes? A brush stroke is thick. It's like, it's not a line, but it's a... I forgot the name. I'm sorry. English is not my first language. I hope you forgive me. Okay. So it's not looking like much right now. But that's okay. You will see the vision soon. Yeah, I got a lot of questions from people in real life about like, how do you do the sketch of your painting? So it really depends. Like, if you're just starting out painting, please don't use a projector. You need to learn how to draw in order to paint. It's true. Because drawing will give you like knowledge of like proportion and size and comparing stuff, and it will give you like a good eye, which is important if you're painting. So yeah, I'm just looking at my sketch, and then I see like, oh, I did a flower here, and that's relatively like this far away from that flower. You know, it's just drawing. It's like when you compare sizes of everything to each other. It doesn't need to make sense in the beginning. That's why you also see people who make like huge murals, and they don't use a projector sometimes. They just, it's a really fancy technique they use. They take their sketch or their plan, for instance, and they make it like digital, or they print a version of it, and then they draw symbols on top, and then they draw the exact same symbols on the wall, like in the same order, and then they like figure out from where a symbol is where a certain line goes. And that is just such an interesting technique. You can still make a lot of mistakes if you do something like that. So I'm always very impressed when I see that, because you really have to have like a knowledge of what you're doing. But yeah, it's easier to draw something if you kind of forget about what you're looking at. Because when you start drawing stuff and you're just learning how to draw, usually you're drawing something from life or like from a picture or something. But what I see a lot of beginner artists do is, if they see like, for instance, they want to draw a tree, right? And when you think about it, a tree, like what is a tree? It has a stem, it has leaves, it's green, you know? But you have to kind of get out of that mindset of like you already knowing what it is, because you also have different shapes of leaves, and like the stem is not always straight, and there's like multiple branches, and you really have to look. That's basically drawing is learning how to look at something. And for some people that already have like affinity for drawing, the moment they learn that, it's like a switch that flips, and just from one day until the next you can suddenly draw. Isn't that crazy that that happens for some people? But yeah, it's true. So this is the eye, by the way. I know it's not looking like an eye right now, but that's because I'm looking at the shapes. This is the ear. So I'm just starting to put just a tiny bit of like a gesture of where stuff is going, you know? Just a little hint. Just getting in the most important shapes. A shape! Oh my gosh, that's what I meant. It's not a line, but a shape. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. I just thought of it. Yeah. My brain is crazy. Like when I'm drawing, there's like a part of my brain just shuts down. That's also why you go into like a flow state, you know? There's like all these parts of your brain that have influence on like when you're drawing. That's also why I'm like, when I'm telling you something, I kind of pause a lot. And the weather is getting colder. How are you doing? Let me know in the comments how you are. Because some people I know they get really bad seasonal depression. I personally really enjoy fall because the trees have such beautiful colors. I know I talk about trees a lot. I just really enjoy nature. And like in all of its stages, you know. I mean, winter is kind of worse for me because I get really tired because the days are really short in the Netherlands. In winter, like, we have sun from like 9 in the morning until like 4:30 on like the shortest days. I know it can be worse, but I feel like I'm not supposed to be outside when it's dark. And every time I have to go to school and I'm like at a tram stop and it's dark, I'm just like, I want to go into bed. Why am I here? It's so cold. It's so dark. And yeah, the fall in the Netherlands is pretty dark as well, but that's just because our skies are gray a lot because we have a lot of rain. I love rain. Like, I completely changed from when I was a child. I used to hate the rain, but that's also because I used to cycle to school, and that's very normal here. Kids cycle to school here like from the age of, I don't know, like the moment you can walk. Oh, that's a bit extreme, but that's how it feels. A lot of kids just go on their bike. And I used to go on my bike as well. And when it rains, people tell you, you're not made of sugar. So we have these like raincoats and stuff like that. But still, you don't want to bike in the rain. That's just cold and unpleasant, you know? So I'm happy I'm an adult now and I can choose to take the tram. Because the tram is kind of nice and warm. What am I talking about? Wasn't this supposed to be a drawing tutorial? That's funny. Okay, so there's like a piece of forehead here. I kind of want to keep that in mind. And the eye, I kind of want to make it dark, but I should wait because I don't know about the proportions yet, if they are right. Okay, so we have some petals there. Okay, I want to work out where the chin is. In my sketch, it's like exactly... No, it's like a bit below halfway. I took a step back just now, and I can see that my eye is like completely wrong. It needs to be like down here. Alright, I'm just gonna leave it like that. And then I have like a cheek, and it goes into a chin. And the angle towards the nose, which is like the tip of the nose is like right here. It's like this. So yeah, I'm gonna move you down a bit. There we go. Because I really want to get this chin right. You know? There's like a part here, and then the neck. And the shoulder. I know it's not looking very good right now, but it's okay. We're gonna get through the ugly stage. There's another flower right here. I'm just gonna sketch it in really quick, not very accurately, so I can do the petals later. So the jaw actually ends right here. And then I have a really strong shadow right there. And it goes down and it goes into that shadow. Okay, that looks pretty good. Where did my eraser go? Oh, it's right here. Sorry, I'm just dumb. Okay. So, I feel like the nostril is right here. There's like another part of the nostril. And then we have the mouth. Okay, that's gonna be interesting because I feel like it ends right there. But I kind of have a lot of strong shadows, like right here. It's really hard doing what you did once for like a second time, because I feel like it just never looks as good. But that's also how you learn though, like at the beginning when I just started painting and I was having trouble with my sketch, I would just do it in my sketchbook like over and over again. I would just redraw my sketch until I was like, this looks good. Like it's starting to look the same, you know? So I'm just kind of blocking in the shadow because I feel like that's important for the lips. So I'm able to see the shape. There we go. Okay, now let's see about the eye. I'm gonna move back. I actually feel like this is a bit more accurate. As you can see, I'm not really being delicate with it anymore right now because I just want me from the future to understand the shape that I made here instead of just lines. Okay. There we go. Now let's move back to this little chin part. Yeah, a little shading right here as well. So on her cheek, I put a flower. It's one of the bigger ones, and I want to sketch that one in. There we go. Going down just a bit for the eye. And there we go. This is also why I like to use charcoal a lot of the times, because it can create shapes like paint. Like in a really quick time I can just put something down. Whereas with graphite it takes a while longer for me to like completely make this black. And it's okay, you can use whatever you want, even if it's like loose media, because you can always use fixative. I just want to be able to see what I'm doing a bit more clear. That's why I'm like blocking in some of the darks. Oh my battery's dying. Already? I'm gonna speed things up. Oh, sorry, that's kind of out of your... out of the field. There we go. So this is like a muscle that I just put in. See how dull my point is now? Because I've been shading a lot. might actually go over it in charcoal. Oh, there's a petal here. I missed it. There we go. Sorry, I've kind of gone quiet. I'm just gonna sharpen my pencil. I'm very concentrated when I'm like busy. Like I mentioned, I kind of get into this flow state. I'm sure you can relate. Also, it's like a puzzle to me. Like I'm constantly looking like, what did I do before? You know? Like what made this drawing so interesting to me that I want to make it into a painting. There's something off, by the way. There's something that's not quite right with this drawing, in my opinion. But that's okay, I'll figure it out. Whoops! It's okay. I love graphite. It's a very forgiving medium, just like charcoal. I think charcoal is even more forgiving because you can do a lot with like the eraser. Especially on paper. Like if you use graphite on paper, sometimes it will not lift off quite as well. But yeah. Okay, my battery is really dying. I think I'm just gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna take a step back and charge my phone. And I will be back. I'm back again. My phone is charged. You're in a different angle. I'm gonna change a few things that I've seen. Okay. I think that looks better. Yeah. I think I could actually move it down even more. Just there we go. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so the lighting is really harsh, and there's like a shadow that goes from here kind of all the way down, like on the side of her face. And I want the lighting to be like very dramatic. So I'm just gonna darken this. Okay. I kind of want to cover up the nose a bit. Gonna remove some of it. There we go. Okay, I feel like I should add some shadow here. make it a bit more balanced. There's a petal in there too, but we'll get to that. And I also need to work on the hairline to make it more balanced, but I'll get to that. Let me just work on this. Starting to come together now. I can see the vision that I had in my sketch. Also, I always just kind of continue until I'm happy. Like, I hate ugly stages of painting. I know I could have stopped like 10 steps ago, you know, I didn't need to make all of that dark, because I kind of had everything already mapped out, sort of. So it depends on what you like. Personally, for like accuracy, I would like to like make my sketch pretty developed. Like my sketch is already sort of an underpainting. But it depends on what you want, you know, on what you prefer. And I'm just enjoying the process now with graphite. Otherwise I would have switched to charcoal. I don't really want to get too messy right now, because, to be honest, I'm wearing long sleeves. And I prefer the control I have right now over my pencil, because this painting is smaller than my usual paintings. So this side is going to be pretty dark. I'm just going to start off kind of sort of like giving it a value. I'm going to move you over soon. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. Okay. I really like what's happening now. This flower is like whole. I'm kind of trying to envision it. I'm just gonna, there we go. Also, I see that sometimes my hand gets in focus and not the drawing. I hope that's not the entire recording, because otherwise I'm gonna be pretty upset. There's like a stem here. Sorry, that's a bit out of frame. Let me just kind of like sketch this in. I really want to do her bun in like this part, so I'm gonna move you over. Alright, I'm done. It's time to show you what I've done. So, oh yeah, I keep seeing stuff that I want to adjust. That's gonna take a while because I always have that tendency when I just start a painting, you know? I keep looking at it and I'm like, oh, this needs to be fixed, and then this needs to be fixed as well. And I see something here, like it's darker here, and oh my goodness, I can just keep going. But I'm gonna stop for now, and I'm gonna show you a clip of the entire painting, and maybe a good picture of it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye!